The wood paneling problem solution. Okay, here you see I've set up the solution for the wood paneling problem. What we have over here on the right is, at first, this part here is just a repeat of what's in the case. I've added a line to show the profit that you make on each part for Tahoe, Pacific, Savannah, and Aspen. And I've added a column on the far right to say this is what the capacity, the total amount of glue, pressing hours, pine chips, and oak chips are that we have. Now, I immediately went and figured out what the decisions were, and the decisions were how many pallets of Tahoe, Pacific, Savannah, and Aspen I was going to create. You can see those numbers filled in here. And then I created equations that basically used the chart and the decision to figure out how much glue I use. So for instance, the amount of glue I used was equal to the glue quarts per pallet of Tahoe times the number of pallets of Tahoe plus the number of quarts of glue per pallet of Pacific times the number of Pacific, and so on. I then went down and did the same thing for pressing hours. I said the number of hours, the number of pallets of Tahoe times F4, which is the number of hours pressing each pallet of Tahoe takes, and the same thing for Pacific, Savannah, and Aspen. Now, the way that I did this is because I actually named these cells the way that we normally name all of our other cells. I did the same thing for pine and oak, and then finally we have profit, where using this bottom row here, I said that profit is equal to 450, which is the profit per pallet of Tahoe, times the number of pallets of Tahoe, plus 1150, which is the amount of profit per pallet of Pacific, times the number of pallets of Pacific, and so on. Now that I've figured out all of my equations to get my totals, I'm going to use Solver. Now what Solver is going to do is it's going to compare the amount of glue used, pressing used, pine used, and oak used to the capacity for glue, pressing hours, pine chips, and oak chips. So I'm going to load up Solver, and you can see that my objective is set to profit, which is B10, and the cells that I'm changing are B1 through B4, and my constraints are B1 through B4 have to be greater than or equal to 0 because I can't make any negative pallets. B1 through B4 have to be integer because I can't make any fractional pallets. And the constraints are, in fact, let's get rid of our constraints and add them back in so that we can see what it takes to add in those constraints. So first, we're going to say that glue used is less than or equal to our glue capacity, right? So that's glue used is less than or equal to glue capacity. Then pressing hours used is less than or equal to pressing hours capacity. Pine used is less than or equal to pine capacity, and oak used is less than or equal to oak chips capacity. So I have all of my constraints. I hit solve, and Solver comes back with a solution. Which is basically that 23 units of Tahoe, 15 pallets of Pacific, 39 pallets of Savannah, and 0 pallets of Aspen gives me my maximum profit of $58,800.